Hello and welcome to the Green Profit Academy Pros podcast. This show digs into the challenges in growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit. I'm Christeen.
And I'm Steve Bousquet. We are the green industry experts in profit, growth, and leadership.
Hello, Christeen. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Steve?
I am excellent. It's a Monday. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's a good way to start the week. We had a rainy Sunday, but the sun is out shining today. All my crews are out and the energy is up.
Yeah, sounds like a good day. We haven't had much rain here. I think we got all of our rain at the beginning of summer and through spring. So we have some beautiful sunshine and the digits are starting to climb. So I think all that green's going to go away here in a short time.
Nice, dry, arid Colorado air. We only have about 90% humidity, so it's not 100% today, but it's good. Hey, today I'm super excited because today's podcast is about strategic planning, and we're going to kind of go deep into what that is about. So strategic planning is the process of defining an organization's long-term goals, right? And devising a roadmap to achieve these goals. So how do we get there? It involves assessing the organization's current position, analyzing its internal and external environment, identifying opportunities and threats, and formulating strategies to capitalize on opportunities and mitigate the threats. Boy, that is a mouthful. So strategic planning is not an easy concept for people to grasp because it's going to take some time and effort. We have to dig deep and kind of be honest with ourselves about where we are and where we want to go and how we're going to get there using our strengths and talents and not, what somebody else did. We have to really step into who we are to get there.
Yeah, and I really love this topic. It is a strength of mine. I notice when I'm doing any sort of strategic planning, I'm just like in this zone where time stands still, so it's just amazing. And I love it. And I love helping business owners with it because it is an area of kind of mystery and uncertainty, and it can really be a game changer for any business. So I'm excited about this topic.
Yeah, and many businesses struggle to reach their goals. If they ever get to reach them, it takes way longer than it really could or needs to. And to grow in today's competitive landscape, in the business landscape of landscaping, without having a strategic plan, it's like trying to navigate in a dense forest without a map or maybe even in the dark. Because having a strategic plan can serve as a compass that guides your business towards success and growth. It's like turning the lights on, and it makes things much more transparent and visible, not only to the owner, but to the entire team, and also all of the stakeholders, the vendors, the customers, the community that business operates in.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is why it's so important, and I thought this would be a great topic to start, talking about, because as we get towards the end of this year, we really want to, as business owners, start thinking about a strategic plan. Do you have one in place? What does this look like? If you don't have one in place, can you put together a plan to get one in place? Who can support you? So, Steve, as you were saying, like, who's on your team? Who's going to champion this? Who can help you? And maybe even connecting with somebody that is really good at strategic planning. So I think it'd be good to start off and inform our listeners today of, defining what a strategic plan is and explaining its purpose for the business.
So having a strategic plan is super crucial for long-term success because it helps organizations, companies, and individuals in the following ways, right? It gives us direction and focus, alignment and coordination. So it's going to align where we want to go and what we're supposed to be looking towards with how to align what we're doing and coordinate that to get us there. Resource allocation, identifying what resources available and how to allocate that sequentially so it supports us. Adaptation and resilience, accountability and measurement, right? If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And stakeholder communication. So that is super important. Like I said earlier, the stakeholders are, our team, our vendors, our community, and people that basically, if they understand where we're going, can help in a clear, precise way, can help us get there much faster.
Right. Yeah, or even where we're starting. So that's another thing is I think as business owners, we can assume a lot. We move very fast. We go in one direction or multiple directions. And we have this assumption that our team understands what we need, what we want, how we're going to get there. And we're just not clearly communicating it. So I think, with a strategic plan in place, it really helps your team members understand where are we at now, because there could be assumptions around, well, what's your financial position? What's your focus on the market? What's the services that you provide or your most profitable services that you provide? So it really gives them the insight that they need, and it takes that assumption out of the conversation to where they can really show up and not just support you as the business owner, but support each other in succeeding in growing and scaling the business, or even just managing the day-to-day. So that's where it really creates that alignment and that coordination where the team can come together and have real conversations because they have real information on hand and they're all talking about the same things.
So, I just read that list and we talked about our team. So direction, focus, alignment, coordination, resource allocation, adaptation, resilience, accountability, measurement, stakeholder communication. So what does direction and focus mean?
Are you asking me what it means?
Yeah, what does it mean?
So when you're looking at a strategic plan and you're wanting to give your team direction and focus, it can encompass several different things. So it can have your, what are your core values in your business, right? What are the main things that they should focus on or kind of, how they should operate? What is your vision in the company? So this is going to really encompass their direction. What are they supposed to focus on? What is the message of the business? What's the purpose that you guys are there to serve? So really having, kind of like the foundation of that focus and direction. And then this could also encompass goals, to where your team understands what's the three major things, the three big things that we need to get done either this quarter or this year that has to do with supporting the business scalability, its growth, its day-to-day function, maybe improving the culture, improving the gross profit margin. So it encompasses those goals and those milestones as a team to focus on and tells them, hey, look over here, this is the direction we need to go, and this is how we're going to get there.
So when we say direction, it's really about focusing on goals that are going to move us through that strategic plan. So because the strategic plan is a long-term vision, it's going to be 5 years, 10 years. We're looking at where we are now, where we want to go, and the team can focus on, okay, if we want to grow sales, how much, by when, and how many customers does that take, and how many customers a month are we going to get? So they can start coming up with KPIs so they can start focusing on those key performance indicators that support that goal, and that goal supports the strategic plan. And it just makes it more clear. Imagine if every person in your company knew that you needed to hit a certain amount of revenue per year, and you only had so many man hours to do that. If you have 10 people in your company, you're doing production, you're going to sell 15,000 man hours. So if you need to do $1.5 million and 15,000 man hours, that's $100. $1.5 million. That's $100 a man hour that you'd have to generate, right? And I'm just using basic, easy math. Maybe it would be if you had 20 guys, you're going to hit $1.5 million. That's $50 an hour, right? So, but if everybody in your company knows that, or at least the key people in your company know that, then that helps them to focus. Hey, this is the revenue that we need to generate, and this is how we're going to generate it through these man hours.
Right. Yeah, and I think that right there goes into that next step of focus as alignment and coordination, right? So when you're telling them like, hey, this is how many man hours we have to produce X amount of revenue this year, and this is how focus we need to be on production through this month, this quarter, this year, you're aligning and coordinating your team. So you're getting them to communicate. You guys are measuring something, you're talking about it, you're tracking it, and you're getting everybody focused and aligned to then produce that service or product or man hours or whatever it is, that certain key performance indicator that you and your team are focused on.
So having the goals and then being able to align and coordinate toward the goal by, how many man hours. So if we lose 2 guys now, this week we're short 80 hours. How are we going to make up for 80 hours? And then if it happens 2 weeks, now we're short 160 hours. So how are we going to make that up? And the focus is on, hitting that $1.5 million with a certain amount of guys. How else are we going to get there? And that goes to that adaptation and resilience, because how do we adapt? How do we adjust? And we're not just going to quit because we don't have 160 man hours. We have to, how are we going to, our resiliency is going to get us through that. Do we have to lengthen the work week a little bit for the people that are working? Do we have to lengthen the work season? Do we have to increase our rates? What are we going to do? We have to adapt and modify to hit that goal.
Mm-hmm. And it's also keeping that resource allocation in mind, because you have so many resources in your company. You have, your admin staff. They only have so many hours, a week, a month, a year. And then you have your production team and they only have so many hours. So it helps you understand as well when you're looking at the big picture and you're kind of building this strategic plan and, looking at your long-term goals. It helps you understand how many hours do we have to contribute to, this goal or this production or this amount of revenue. And it also puts things in perspective from my experience of what can we change to get the most out of those man hours? What does that look like? And it might be automating some of your systems in your business so your administrative team doesn't have to touch so many things and it's not taking up as many man hours for them because your computer system or your software system is doing it for you. And even in the field, looking at how your team may, load the trucks or service the clients on the routes or, going out and dealing, with service calls. How can you then streamline some processes in that? And I know this is something you've done before, Steve, is really looking at your resource allocation and making sure that your production team isn't spending time on unnecessary tasks. So it's really coming up with a plan to go, how can we get the most out of our time with our team and be mindful of the hours that we need them to be most productive?
Yeah, and what you were referring to with resource allocation is like my lawn techs, right? I only want them doing lawn tech functions. So my lawn techs don't do call aheads. They don't make their own routes. They don't make their own signs. The signs are put together for them. We load trucks with forklifts. They're not hand loading anything. Anything that I can do to speed up or reduce how much time they spend doing anything that's not lawn applications. They don't go to the gas station to get fuel. I need them to be on the lawns every hour that is possible for them to be. Anything that is not lawn production, we really, really try to limit. We have backup trucks. So if a truck needs servicing, then that lawn tech has another truck. They're not taking it to the garage. They're not working on it and repairing it. I need them to be on lawn. So, because I have limited resources with how many lawn techs I have. I have to really maximize that resource. So it's way easier to find admin people who have high communication skills and talents and positivity and adaptability to make phone calls, and people love talking to them, than have my lawn techs. Not all of them are extroverts. Some of them are introverts. So having them really just focus on their job, they're happier, my customers are happier, and it keeps us, the accountability is much greater because we're keeping our techs and our people in their talent themes as opposed to having everybody do everything. Some of the businesses I have visited over the years that struggle the most are the ones that have the capacity where everybody does everything and people are not operating in their strengths. It's very interesting and painful to watch.
Yeah, and some of this, over the years, if you have a strategic plan and you're implementing it and you're measuring your performance with your revenue, your man hours, your growth, what are your people contributing to in the business? It gives you the insight that you need. So that's another reason why I really love a strategic plan, because you can document one thing and say, this is what we're going to do, but along the journey, you learn what needs to change to gain more traction with your, scalable growth in your business. So it helps you see what path are we on now, what isn't working, and what can we change. And I feel this happens through the accountability and measurement of these, goals and these key performance indicators, as well as the stakeholders communication. So, which is the last point. And, what does a strategic plan consist of? And what does it contribute to? Because then the people that you have in the game, which is you, your team, your management team, production, admin, sales, they're all communicating with each other, and they're using that strategic plan as a platform to share, what has changed, what needs to be changed, what are they finding, what are they tracking, how is the business performing?
Yeah, accountability is huge, and measurements also, and using national measurement or typical measurement, and then finding out where your company is and tracking that. You don't have to track everything, but you have to track important things that move the needle and things that impact the company every day. That's kind of what you want to look for. Production is one of them, and the dollars. I mean, that's a huge, or ratios and percentage, gross profit margin. Those are things that are really essential to be tracking. So you want to measure and hold people accountable. And the owner too, making sure that the owner's having their monthly meetings, their for the accountability meetings, the quarterly accountability meetings. The mentality or mindset of, hey, if I just work hard every day, and I have the right equipment, the right excavator, the right color mower, the right fertilizer, everything else is going to fall into place. That is really a myth that keeps people stuck, and it keeps people working, 6-7 days a week and wondering at the end of the year, wow, I worked so hard. Why am I not further ahead? And really, the reason is it's that measurable accountability.
Yeah. And I think an important point to talk about too, because I've heard people say, in the past, well, I don't have a strategic plan, but when I started the business or when we got this loan, I put together a business plan. Like we had to do that. So I want to make sure that as well our audience understands, like, what's the difference between a business plan and a strategic plan, because the strategic plan is what is going to get you somewhere. So because the strategic plan is focused on the broader perspective, and it's developed for internal use by the leadership team and the stakeholders. So your team members, who's working in the business, what are you focused on? How are you trying to get there? And it spans for a longer time frame and provides guidance on how to achieve the organization's vision, mission, and goals. So as we were talking earlier, it's a 5 to 10 year period, and it really lays out, those goals, those milestones year by year, who's involved, how are you going to measure it, the mission and vision of the company, and why you're there doing what you're doing. And the business plan is just this summary of going, this is who we are, kind of how big we are, and it lays out just a surface level, concept of your business model.
Yeah, a business plan is really painting a picture for someone else. This is what we do. This is our market area. These are the products that we, supply or produce. This is the expected revenue growth over, X amount of years. This is how many employees we need. This is our competition. This is how we fit into that competitive marketplace. And it's really, like you said, it's for banks or getting loans. And it can be a good step to present a business plan, even to your own team to show them, but it's not the map that moves the needle. Its strategic plan is really the engine that drives the company forward internally. It's not for to get loans, and it's really to show people, hey, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get there. And these are the resources. This is how we're going to measure it. This is how we're going to align things, and this is the direction we're heading.
Yeah, so the strategic plan, think of it as like it plays the long game, and gives everybody direction, detail, and focus. A business plan focuses on the specific strategies, tactics, activities, for the short-term game of your business. So these are the differences between a strategic plan and a business plan. And I would absolutely say that the strategic plan is a game changer in your business when you get one built out and you start sharing it with your team and following it. You'll really gain some traction there.
I still have a business plan that I wrote in college, so 1987, 88, somewhere around there. It was very interesting. It was very fun to read. And back then I didn't have other bigger companies locally to kind of emulate to. It was very interesting how what I thought and where it ended up going was very, very different. But it's very interesting to keep it. So I would recommend you to keep your business plans and keep your strategic plans. And one of the things with both of these plans is, you can go back at the end of 2 years and really look and say, hey, is what I thought we should be focused on actually getting us where we really want to go? And, I learned that you just being solely revenue focused was not going to get me there. I actually needed to increase the talent and skill of my team, who I wanted desperately to keep and bring with me on this, strategic journey. I needed to take time and resources to educate them and develop their skills and talents. So it can't just be all revenue and equipment and customer count. I learned that, the team, the stakeholders that I'm bringing along with me need to be supported and developed also.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Steve, because I feel like it's so easy to kind of get caught in the weeds as a business owner and say, we need to increase our gross profit margin, we need to increase our revenue, we need to increase our customer count, or even our, average, price of service, like how much each customer generates in revenue, what's that average price? And the one thing that can be easy to forget is the development of our team and even the systems and processes in our business that are going to get us there faster. So that's super important, and something that if you have that strategic plan in place, you can see that gap and the opportunity that's presented by looking at what are your systems and processes that need to change? How can you support your team engagement and create that culture? And we've said this several times in the past, is you have a culture in your business, whether you create it or not. So you really have to be intentional, just like increasing that customer count. You need to be intentional too about increasing your team engagement in your company. And Steve, you are muted.
Oh, I took a drink. I didn't want my plastic bottle to be crumpling. And not all business owners have these talents to do everything. So we really have to look, who else can be on our team, what coaches or consultants or groups, or, where do we need to go and who do we need to find to help support us and the growth of our team.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the benefits of, strategic planning. And one of the quotes that I love and we've shared many times, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I feel that these words have never rung truer in the business world, especially today in today's competitive market, kind of what we're looking at with the challenges around labor and hiring and the cost of doing business at this point. So a strategic plan really raises our awareness of what the business needs and how it's going to move forward. And it can align our team's efforts, clarify our objectives, and provide a roadmap for our long-term vision. And it's really the difference between chasing after random opportunities and proactively shaping our own destiny. So it's another one of those ways that we can control the outcome of something versus just sitting back and going, why does this always happen? Or, why can't I change this? Or what are we going to do about it? It really puts a foundation in place for you to go to and ask these questions and figure out some better solutions.
And, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? But people don't really go out and say, I did that. And, I have been really guilty of thinking I had a plan, but it wasn't thorough enough. It wasn't thought out. It wasn't really strategic. It was like, we need to add X amount of sales, and that's going to be X amount of customers. Let's go. And then, like, my team looked at me like, well, okay. And, how are we going to do that? Like, and I'm like, well, we're going to market. We're going to go sell people. And they're like, well, we need another crew if we're going to do that. Oh, yeah, we need another crew. Right. We'll just buy another truck. And I'm like, well, who's going to, do all this admin for this extra amount of people? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we need more admin. So I would really include, people who your stakeholders and your team members to be highly involved in your strategic planning, because they're going to bring their strengths and talents that you may or may not have or lack, and they're going to bring that to the strategic planning. So I think my biggest lesson learned was don't do this strategic planning, because even though I thought I was planning, I really was planning to fail because I just didn't have enough input in the strategic plan.
Yeah, and I feel like too, it's really, if you don't have a strategic plan in place and your team is trying to be supportive, it's kind of the blind leading the blind, to where it's like, well, where are we going to go? How are we going to succeed in this? Let's just come up with some ideas off the cuff. And it's no way of doing business this day. And your team isn't going to be there bought in, winning with purpose. They're going to be there just trying to throw, spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So it doesn't give you the traction you need if you're not implementing or even having a strategic plan in place.
Yeah.
Core Growth Strategies provides business growth management solutions through cloud accounting, bookkeeping, and strategic business consulting programs. Our team works with small businesses in lawn care and landscape and trade industries throughout the U.S. We increase our clients' business acumen by creating business performance transparency through financials and strategic advisement based on industry best practices and benchmarks. Our experienced team provides support, guidance, and coaching, thereby allowing our clients to connect with viable data and discover their own solutions. Core Growth Strategies programs and services are designed to get your business from where it is now to where you have always dreamed it to be. Visit us today at coregrowthstrategies.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Don't miss our exclusive limited time podcast special. Just mention promo code GPA Pro to any member of our team during your complimentary consultation, or enter the promo code on our site when you sign up for one of our online programs. That's promo code GPA Pro. So the other thing I like about strategic planning, and this comes up with my team when we sit down and we have our leadership meetings, is we're identifying the opportunities that are coming up and mitigating the risks, with those opportunities. So it really keeps us focused. And if an opportunity comes up, we can easily look at, is this serving our vision and our goals over the next month, quarter, year? What is this going to do for us? And is it going to get us more traction? So we can have some deep conversations around that. And it really keeps us focused. And we spoke before about the survival trap, as Mike McCullough shared it in the Pumpkin Plan and Profit First, where it's taking you away from your vision and your focus, and you're coming up with all these other ideas, amongst your team that really aren't practical and that aren't going to change, your game of business with your focus and, your goals to scale and grow your company.
Yeah, opportunities. I think Mike McCallow's have even said this. Opportunities can often be another word for distractions. And what happens, I find this, for me and my team sometimes when we're focused or getting through things, we're making progress, but it's not going fast enough. It doesn't feel like we're winning because it's hard, it's difficult, it's slow. And then something shiny or something that sounds really nice pops up, and it's like, ooh, let's go look at that new shiny thing or that sound wonderful thing, and it gets us out of that doing the job that's not always so enjoyable or so fun, but it's supporting the strategic plan and the mission, vision, and purpose. So, we really have to weigh opportunities very carefully. And even the consideration of other opportunities can be, you have to weigh even considering it very carefully.
Yeah, and even with opportunities, and we have found this when we sat down and started talking about, like, what are our customers saying that they need or want, or what kind of support. It's really easy for us as owners, or even as, our team, when we sit down to make these assumptions. But when we are looking at these opportunities with our strategic plan in mind and our long-term goals, some of them we identify, oh, this goal is in year 3. We'll be able to get there faster if we change this and we change that. So we're being strategic about the changes. Or we say, in reality, we're not going to have enough manpower or hours or focus or money to make this change now, but it's later down the road. So we know it's coming, and then we can plan for it accordingly. So it doesn't take us off of our focus, and we can make a strong decision about it based on real facts versus, just trying to get there faster or making those assumptions like, oh, well, our clients need it now, or, what can we change? So it really grounds us and creates a good conversation with facts.
It does. And the other, when you look at the facts, we have customers who'll ask us for things, and I start coming up with this new program or new plan, but then it's only like 2% of our entire customer base that even has interest in it. And then when I say, hey, I put a program together for that, and it costs this much, are you interested? Oh, no. If you really do it for free, I have a lot of interest in it, but I don't want to pay. So I go to the next person. Hey, you remember when you asked about this? This is what it looks like. Are you interested in that? Oh, no, I can live with that one weed. So I'll give a weed like nutsedge. It's not that easy to control it. And if you really want to do a great job knocking it out, you have to have a pretty aggressive program. You have to do a couple pre-emergence in the spring with a very particular product. Then you have to do multiple follow-up post-emergence. And it can be expensive and timely to do that. So, we'll do the best we can for our customers. But if you really want this full knock it out program, it costs X. And when I present that to people, they're like, no, I can live with it. Just do the best you can. What you're doing now is good. So, and again, what does it take to roll that program out? I have to pull a tech off a truck from doing regular production to go do that type of production. We have to have special chemicals in inventory. We have to have special sprayers because it needs a special nozzle to make sure it sticks to this particular weed. So it went from, kind of like is it a big deal? I can make it a big deal and it won't serve our mission of growing to our vision of growing to a certain size at a certain revenue. Because the other thing is, how much revenue will that opportunity produce? So what's the income? If it can't produce $100,000 a year, within, 3 years, then we can't even consider it. So when we're looking at opportunities, how much revenue and how much resource will it take away from the bigger goal and strategic plan?
Yeah, and I think that serves as well to, not just providing new services or programs, but servicing a new type of customer. And it makes me remember a conversation that we had in one of our team masterminds where someone was considering servicing this large customer kind of on the outskirts of their area. And they have, a very specific customer that they serve. It's so many square footage. It's in this certain service area. They're very much in the same, service packages, and it's consistent. So it's really like this focus or, lawn care service that they provided to a specific customer, specific size, specific area. And they presented this challenge when we were talking about pricing. They're like, oh, I have to price this one customer. What does this look like? And it was this outlier that, they discovered where they're like, well, if I do say yes to servicing this type of customer, these are the lost opportunity costs that is going to come up because I'm going to have to take one guy, send him out into this area. We don't really have any other clients out there where we don't typically service that big of a property. And this is what it looks like. So just looking and kind of talking about it strategically and understanding like, what is their strategic plan they have? What is their focus? Who are the people that they service? And then getting more information on this new customer. By the end of the conversation, they realized I'm going to lose a lot of money if I say yes to this guy. There's not even a point of quoting anything for this guy. Like, I'm just going to waste my time. So I think that that's another opportunity with the strategic plan. It's not just considering what services you provide, but who you provide those services to and who on your team is going to manage that or even show up to provide those services.
And again, that helps once you know who you're going to service, what type of client you're going to have and what you're going to provide. And it also helps with the marketing. So instead of being everything to everyone and marketing everything to everyone, it really defines like where that person lives, where their eyes are, so you can get in front of them. So you're only marketing to certain type of people at certain times of the year for certain types of services, as opposed to everything for everybody. It's been doing the pumpkin planning, really knowing who our ideal client is, even where they live and when they buy, has saved us. I think we did the calculations the other day. I mean, it is almost $500,000. It saved our company over 5 years.
Wow.
In marketing that we just completely eliminated. We used to be between 5 to 7% of our total revenue in marketing. Now we're at 1.7%.
That's amazing.
So just knowing, and our company, we've still grown over those past 5 years. So, I mean, we've more than doubled. So advertising, marketing, and being in front of the right people it pays super dividends. But that starts with a strategic plan. It didn't start with the marketing. It started with the strategic plan.
Right. Yeah. So you got there.
Yeah.
Just by knowing like what's your focus, who are the clients that we serve, what does this mean, what are the services we provide. There's a lot of questions that go into it, and I think for some it could be really overwhelming. For me, I love to dig in and like answer all these questions and pull all the pieces together. I also like to do 1,000-piece puzzle in like a day. It's like my mind works that way. It brings me joy. So I want to unpack, how do we create an effective strategic plan for anybody who's listening to this and they're interested, one, they might have something in place, or, they're wondering like, does this serve? What's missing? Or I don't have anything in place and I want to get something in place. So what would it look like, to create an effective strategic plan? And there's certain things that we need to know and we need to discover. And as Steve was sharing, some of these are, like the company details. Who are you and what do you do? Are you a lawn care company, a landscape company? What do you look like?
And the other one is my favorite, what is the company's mission, vision, and purpose? And defining those clearly and then sharing them with your team, that's a game changer. Because if we don't know as owners in a real clear way what the company's mission, vision, and purpose is, how would anybody else know? How do we recruit and retain employees and get clients and keep clients and work with vendors that can support us if we don't have a clear mission, vision, and purpose?
Yeah. And then you want to, outline your goals and objectives. What does this, what are your goals for this year? What are your objectives? What are those goals going to do for you and your company and your team, or servicing your customers? And it's not just 1 year. You want to look at this current year and then ideally the next 2 years after that. And then if you're really trying to build it out, and the direction you're going, identify up to 5 years. And I know in our strategic plan, we started with the first 3 years. And then once we got those identified, we created year 4 and 5. And then once we figured what that looked like, we stopped and we said as a team, do we know what year 6 through 10 look like? Okay, we have an idea. Let's get that down on paper and identify whatever goals or objectives are associated with that. And no, it can always change, but putting some sort of direction or destination down on there, for the long game is going to get you and your team on the same page faster.
And the next is to identify benchmarks, measure where you are right now, identify what needs to change and where you want to go. If you're generating $50 an hour per man hour and the goal is to get it to 65, that's a $15 an hour gap. So what's the steps needed and what's the process needed to identify how to get your that sales per hour from 50 to 65. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not telling you that you should get to 65 or if you're at 50. I'm just saying that's an example. Maybe you're at 65 and you want to get to 100. What's the gap and how do you get there? And so that's kind of the example. Or if you have 1,000 customers, how do you get to 1,500 customers? Or if you have one person that is trained in QuickBooks, how do you get 2 people or whatever it is? Just identify where you are right now and where you want to go.
Yeah, and with the benchmarks, I think it's important too to kind of give an idea of what are these benchmarks that you track? What are the main things that you're looking at? So one is going to be income. Like what is your revenue year over year? And then another one is going to be your gross profit margin. How has this changed? What's contributing to it? Then you're also going to look at your sales. What are the contributing factors to your sales? So there's certain areas that you look at from revenue, sales, customers, team engagement, production. So there are certain areas of the business that you assess and you consistently track these same benchmarks so you can look back year after year and identify what changed and also kind of see, well, what do we need to change to make it better?
Yeah, KPIs are so important, benchmarking year to year. We look at cancel rate. One of our big goals was to reduce our cancel rate, and we found out how to do it, and we've done it. And, that's about improving our cancel rate or reducing our cancel rate equals $180,000 in sales, additional sales every year. So, I mean, these are big impacts. And if we weren't tracking that and then trying to implement a strategy to improve it, we're just throwing money out the door because they were already customers. And when we find out why they were canceling and when we addressed that and got that straightened out, we were happier, they were happier, customers stayed longer. It worked out. That gross profit margin over salary is a big thing to track from year to year. And many business owners, surprisingly, don't know what they're going to make until they do their taxes with their accountant. But I would really, really advise everyone to have a personal income goal as a business owner and track that year to year and make sure that you're in line.
Yeah. Yeah, and the next step is assess strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Or some of you may have heard the term SWOT analysis, tossed around in the business world. And with a SWOT analysis, you're really looking at, what are the strengths of the company and identifying those and noting them down. What are our weaknesses? What are some things that we can control and can't control? What are these opportunities? And then also, what are the threats? So where can, you be blindsided if you don't have a game plan in place? And it's just raising your awareness with yourself and your team and putting certain things into these different categories. So you're sorting these into buckets and really, just having this deeper look in your business of what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are.
And then you want to define your actions that will get you there. And again, sometimes I have been kind of not deep dive enough, and this is where my team helps me. I'm like, well, we sell more. Well, what does selling more mean, right? How many appointments do we need to go on? What's the close ratio? And then, you learn if your goal is to have lots of sales, like you need good sales. You don't want any sale because you don't want people canceling. You don't want to make your marketing offer so good that more people sign up, even people that shouldn't be signing up. So define the actions that will get you there. And that means, right, really you're going to be focusing on that 5 functions of business: marketing, sales, finance, people, and your deliverables. So really look at all of those 5 functions of business, and you're going to have action steps for every single function of the business: marketing, sales, deliverables, finance, and people.
So once you get the strategic plan created, there's a few things that you have to do afterwards. So you don't want to just get it on a piece of paper, do all this work and say, okay, here's our goals. This is our, mission and vision. Here's some benchmarks and KPIs that we're tracking, and then just stick it in a drawer or, leave it in a folder, in a file hang on your desk somewhere. You actually want to take the step of implementing the strategic plan. Because again, if you're not implementing it and you're not making it part of the conversation, then it's just all this work that you put into it and it's just going to be forgotten. So part of implementing it is going to be communicating the plan to all the stakeholders, ensuring that they understand and that they're committed. You're getting that commitment and understanding from your team members and the people who are going to help you champion these different parts of your strategic plan. And then the next piece is monitoring, your progress and adjusting any actions as needed. So you're sharing it, you're getting all on the same page, and then you're saying, hey, this isn't working or this is working, and being focused on those actions.
Communicating and cascading the strategic plan and sharing this strategic plan with all your employees. My advice on that is, don't dump a bucket on their head of strategic plan. Roll this out in meetings slowly. Don't overwhelm them. I have had of being so excited. I'm my biggest cheerleader, and I'm like, we're going to do all this great stuff. And people are like, oh my God. So I've learned, I definitely have to roll this out, but, do it in meetings, do it in small bites, so I don't overwhelm them. And then also ensuring alignment and understanding at all levels of the organization. So really communicating with how it's going to affect everybody in their role, and just allow them to win in it and let them know that you're aligning their strengths and talents in a supporting way, that you're not expecting them to become something that they're not or have skills and talents that they aren't even aware of. And then integrating this plan into the day-to-day operation. And this is really where the rubber hits the road. This is why we're doing it. Because if we can't get it into the day-to-day, if people can't line up for this every single day, it will never happen. And Christine said, you can't put it in a drawer, put it up on a shelf. It has to be day to day. Everybody has to be aware of what's going on and why we're going, where we're going. And it's very much like I said with company culture. It's company culture is not a Friday afternoon barbecue. That might be part of it, but it's not a poster on the wall saying, we're stronger together. Culture is every day, every hour. And same thing with strategic planning. It's every day, every hour. It's the day-to-day operations and really integrating that and honoring it and letting people know when they're winning through their KPIs and when we're measuring and holding people accountable.
Yeah, and I think too, some of the things that you shared in the communicating it and, sharing it with your team, Steve, is it's very important, just like profit first, right? We always say baby steps, like don't implement profit first and then suddenly, come out the gate trying to hit your target allocations for, your company revenue level when you're really not even, close to being able to implement the current allocation percentages. And you're like, how am I even going to save 1%? There's baby steps involved, just like when you implement profit first. You may just need to start with the profit account and start saving 1%. And once you get a good rhythm with that, you move forward. So the same goes with your strategic plan and your employees. Is you don't want to roll it out company-wide right out the gate. It's something that you start sharing it with, like, who's your top, leadership team. Maybe you just share it with your manager and, your field manager and your office manager. And then you guys get it under, wraps and figure out how this is going and how you're going to implement it and what are the challenges. And then you invite the next level in and then the next level. So don't expect that you're just going to roll out a strategic plan and hand it to everybody and they're all going to jump on board, because most of your team members aren't going to understand, all the different aspects. So it's a process of learning how to communicate about it, learning how to navigate the strategic plan and understanding it together. So I would suggest, it's kind of a journey. Get your main people on board and then, over time, start pulling in the other people that it impacts and figure out, maybe part of the strategic plan is how do you communicate it to, your other people in your company and your laborers on the KPIs they're responsible for that contributes to the big picture. And it could be made into something fun.
Yeah, and rule number one, we have this on the previous podcast, rule number one of leadership, right? Be easy to follow. So, being easy to follow is rolling stuff out slowly in digestible amounts and then getting your first followers to get on board with that strategic plan. And then your first followers are going to show the other people how to follow, and then they'll show people how to follow. So we want to roll this out in a way that makes everyone easy to follow.
Yep. So once you get it, created and rolled out, you're starting to share it with your team. The important piece is maintaining it. So I've seen it, they're like, oh, well, I didn't update my strategic plan this year, but we're going to just, move on to the next year and try to follow that. So really creating a rhythm in your business to, look at the ongoing evaluation and change that you need to do with your strategic plan. I advise you review it regularly, update the plan as needed, and then also create those accountability pieces. And then how often are you going to meet with your team members to look at the strategic plan? Are you going to have monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, an annual meeting, and then creating that space to review it at the end of the year before you roll into your new year. And I always say, start looking at it at the end of summer to be ready for fall and have it done so you guys all have time to communicate about it when you're rolling into that new year. So you want to create that space and that time and be mindful of revisiting your strategic plan and updating it.
Absolutely. And the other thing I would really advise is to get some outside influence regarding your strategic plan, because I've had some great ideas that in my own mind, my own narrative, they sound awesome because I could figure it out, but really it wasn't supporting. I wasn't either thinking big enough or I was thinking too incrementally. I could move much faster. That I was actually putting down in the on the mouth. And sometimes people will say, "Hey, maybe at your age you should think bigger, or maybe you're at your age you need to bring somebody else to support you in that way because you need to support the business in this way." Because I used to be the salesperson. I used to do it all. But if I want to build my company and keep it growing, I need to get out of the way. I need to bring other people on. Sure, I used to be this guy and that guy, but I'm not this guy and that guy. I'm the engager, the cheerleader, the person that really engages my team and gets them to move to the next level. I don't do sales anymore. I'm not running any equipment. So just coming to the realization of that hey, it's time to step out of the way and let somebody else. And my team does better than I ever did in any position in the company because they're solely focused on what they're doing and their purpose and mission is clear.
Yeah, that's a really good point, is you can as well have the process of how can I scale and grow my business and work my way out of the business as part of your strategic plan, some of those action steps. And it's not something you have to go it alone. You can have your team support you in that transition. Because I'm sure, Steve, when you started looking at phasing yourself out, you weren't the one recruiting your replacements in different departments and different areas of your business.
No, I was not. Really, they all came from within the company and everybody came up and filled different roles, right? No, my team was like, oh, this person would be good to do that part of your job. And this person would be good to do that part of your job. Yeah. And then we brought other people up to fulfill their roles that they were in. So as we learn and grow as people, we need to make changes and, not always, but sometimes, we need to step out of what we were doing. Sometimes we need to step into more of what we were doing. So eliminating doing all the other things and doing the thing that you were really good at.
Yeah, so one of the services that we created over at Green Profit Academy, and this was from listening to our clients tell us, hey, how do I do that? Do you guys have a way that you can support me? And so we put together a business accelerator Kickstarter program. And I just want to take a minute to talk about this because I didn't realize how valuable it was to our clients until we started working through it with them and the relief that it brought to them in their business and them just sharing, hey, I love this program. Like, this has really got me focused and it made it easier along the way. So we created a workshop called the Business Accelerator Kickstarter program. And it really encompasses a lot of the pumpkin plan strategies that we, provide our clients in services with the when they talk about it in the pumpkin plan, when Mike McAllis is talking about, hey, create a vision story, or, what are your immutable laws or your core values? So this workshop brings business owners step by step through creating a mission, vision, and purpose for their company, identifying their immutable laws, which are their core values, and really setting up those goals for the first 1 to 5 years, and what are the milestones and action steps and even KPIs that support those goals. So it's a group workshop that you work through, and Steve and I are there to support you. And by the end, you have a business strategic plan in place from all the work that we did during the workshop. So if it's sounding overwhelming, or you really want kind of a template to just update on a regular basis after you create it, I would suggest checking out our Business Accelerator Kickstart program.
And you can also attend the retreat that is going to be at the end of October into the beginning of November. And you can purchase that Business Kickstart Accelerator program individually, and you can purchase the retreat. And if you purchase the retreat, it comes with the retreat purchase.
Very nice.
And the retreat I'm excited about because you get to spend 4 days with other business owners who have been through the Business Accelerator program. So they're focused, they can support you. You can have this conversation about, how you developed your strategic plan. They share how they developed theirs, and you're with like-minded people. And so you don't feel so alone. And these are honest, open, vulnerable conversations. This isn't the guy in your market and you see how great he's doing, but you don't know what he's doing. You don't know anything really about him other than he has more trucks than you and maybe they're shinier, but you don't know if he's just winging it, is he strategic, or what the deal is. So this gives you some access and opportunity to be with business owners that will share honestly and open with you.
Yeah, and I love this because I've made space at the retreat for everybody to bring their strategic business plan and us just putting the finishing touches on it and reviewing it, with them. And then also, like you said, Steve, having the opportunity to talk to other business owners in your industry or who has been in business, for, we'll say, 30, 40 years, and, giving you some valuable insights. So there's lots of great opportunity for great conversation there to get some additional insight around your strategic business plan, from some very seasoned business owners that are there.
Such a polite way to say that. Seasoned. I think there was about 250 years of landscape business experience at the last retreat. And these guys are so generous with their time. They're so wanting to help people and share, what they've done it, and they've been through it. And they, especially younger guys, they want younger people in business, younger women in business. They want to help them so they don't have to struggle as much, so they can get, make progress faster with less pain. So there's a lot of sharing and mentoring that happens in this group at the retreat. So would definitely recommend taking a look at that.
Yep. So we'll include those links in our show notes today. And, we hope that you'll be joining us for some strategic planning.
Awesome. Well, this was a good podcast, Christine, and thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Green Profit Academy Pros Podcast,
the show that digs into the challenges of growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit.